This is Rebuttl, presented by Extra Insights.
Hello and welcome. My name is Vikram Pratap Singh and this is Rebuttl presented by Extra Insights. Rebuttal is a civilized debate on issues that matter for curious news consumers. On one hand, people of India say that news channels have lost their integrity and they want real news and information, and on the other, news channels have only grown more popular. Going by the popular business strategy of delivering what the customers demand, are news channels serving the content that people want, or are other factors at play? This brings us to the topic of today's debate. News channels show people what they want to see. Each participant gets a total of 5 minutes for opening comments, 3 minutes to rebuttal and refute, and 1 minute to share their closing comments. Speaking first and for the motion is an artist, guitarist, photographer, and a third-year computer science student, Abhishek Sen. Speaking against the motion is a member of the Heritage Debating Society and a former writer at Quora, Bhumika Tiwari. Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate. Abhishek, the mic is all yours.
Thank you, Speaker Sir. So starting off, today we're debating on the topic news channels show people what they want to see. So I'll first go about who are the stakeholders here. Who are these people to whom news channels cater? The news channels cater to their customers. Who are their customers? The people who provide them with the advertisement and the news that they go about. And who are these people? These are the businessmen, this is the government, this is all around the world. Whatever is happening is being provided to them. So these are the customers, these are the people we are talking about here today. And when we talk about these people, these are the ones whom these news channels cater to because these are their customers. There's a huge difference between a customer and a consumer. In any business line, a news channel by all means is a business in itself. Now, in all business lines, the customer and the consumer are the same, except in this line. In this line, the consumer are the general public and the customer are the businessman or whoever is providing the news with. Now, this is where the point lies. Today we are debating on news channels show people what they want to see. Now, when by people, when I mean they're the my customers, then yes, they do get what they want to see because they pay the news channels for these exact things. They want to know how to dramatize or even move the masses, because what they want to show, like for it's a business strategy, it's a government strategy, all these come into play because news channels today are a huge medium. They are not going out of fashion, they are just increasing in their popularity. Each and every channel today is just increasing in its TRP through debates and everything that is there. And now everything, these debates, everything are planned. Today, even speeches are also planned. And these are called propagandists. Why so? Because these companies do not need to show everything outside. These companies need a a formal image outside. Everything and so on and so forth goes from there on. Everything, every business now, even comedy shows, everything is now showing on like flashes on TV channels. Why is that so? Because these are the customers that the news channels are you know acquainted to and are bound to show them what they want to see. Now, what the end result happens is that what these people want to see is already there. And why do they want to see it? Is because they want to move the general masses. They want to like create some kind of controversy so that the general mass have a view on it. It is not the actual story. Maybe it's not even the integrate. Maybe the even it's just a half truth. But then again, it creates an uproar in the public. It creates uproar throughout the public, and that is what these people are hinting at. So that any kind of publicity to these people will lead to an increase in their business. Today this is what is happening, and business as of like from when on business, news channels always were a source of news, any kind of news. And every it's long, it's a long due when this has been going on. It's for a very long time, since 1960s, I guess, when companies like Ford and all of these companies have been going on with such advertisements, such newses, such speeches, where they put out stuff that only they want to tell the people, or they want to show that their company is, again, returning back to the formal image that I was talking about. Now, coming back to the topic, news channels show people what they want to see. So see, it serves the employers of the news channels, and here people strictly pertain to the employers of the news channels. There are many examples that I can give you. Today, even journalists use controversial statements, controversial speeches, and many things. Even businessmen use controversial speeches just so that it raises an uproar, it raises an uprising, and people do start about it everywhere. There are hashtags on this particular topic on social media. There are different debates further on increasing the business, not only for the news channel, but also that whole business is mentioned repeatedly, or that whole issue of suppose a bill or a law, or how the speech went about, is a whole issue altogether. So it keeps flashing on the mind of the people. It keeps flashing on the mind of the people that this is something that we need to go about. This is something that we need to have an opinion about, because we need to go out in the public and talk. And when that occurs, your the whole scenario again shifts to that point, that it is a profitable business on the front. And that would be my opening statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abhishek. Those are very interesting points there. News channels cater to the advertisers, big corporate house, and government. The customers and consumers are the same, except for news channels, and that is a very true thing. News media is a huge medium for propagandas. Controversial, angle to stories are highlighted to stay on the limelight. I will now request Bhumika Tiwari to go ahead with her opening comments. Take it away, Bhumika.
Good afternoon to all. Today I am here to speak against the topic, that is news channels show people what they want. So, beginning my stance by quoting Ted Turner, the whole idea of television news or any kind of news is to inform people about things they need to know. And the definition of news broadcasting is to spread information and disseminate current issues. But the very words like information and current events have been swapped by entertainment and drama. Thus, my first and foremost point to negate today's topic is this: the comparison of news and entertainment, that is, news versus entertainment. News has no doubt become a business, and it has become an entertainment business, which is alluring people by adding confetti in whatever they are broadcasting or whatever they are showing. Yes, I agree that the audience likes the spicy gossip or the masala in whatever they want to hear, but it should be noted that the news channeling system has certain guidelines to follow. They should not spoil the accuracy or credibility of any information. The broadcasters have to confirm that whatever they are showing is well sourced and checked, because we rely upon the information only through news channels. We like intriguing facts which are real, and not like a daily soap which is all made up just to add certain kind of amusement to our dull and prosaic lives. Also, as per the CEO of Broadcast Audience Research Council, that is the BARC of India, Mr. Partho Das Gupta himself said, quote unquote, that drama works across genres and sensationalization of news helps add the drama. So viewers tend to spend more time on entertainment channels than on news, as public loves a longer storytelling format. And thus, taking advantage of this, the news channels broadcast any sort of news and boost their TRP, that is the television rating point. The news channels are making profits like this, but doing so they are becoming ill informed. They are not showing people what they want, and are becoming platforms for character assassination, or are becoming opinionated and are lacking sensible content. No doubt there is a breach with the code of ethics or the code of conduct as devised by the NBA. The contents are portrayed without even thinking its implication on a common person's life, and its quality is deteriorating day by day. The marring of the content just in the name of gradual story build up is doing no benefit to the public but is just fooling them. The news channels are showing only superficial facets which are going all around the world and are definitely not what people want. The question arises here is what is the root cause of these things? What is the root cause of this fakeness and such half known truths? Is there a lack of any regulatory body which is responsible for a good content of news channeling system, or are we incapable of producing and appreciating sensible news programming? Why are only pecks of information provided to us? Such things put a black mark on the face and quality of news journalism too, and certain instances make it worse. Like once when a cameraman went running behind Indian cricketers to ask why did not why the cricketers were not wearing black armbands during the Champions Trophy final against Pakistan in sympathy with the soldiers killed in the Kashmir Valley. Now what is the relation between sports and army, or what is will the person who is playing a sport and a person who is going to the borders to serve the country be anyway related? Now, leaving all this aside, tell me whether it would make any iota of difference to you and me if we get to know this information. Well, it would be people would be more interested to know about the foreign affairs and the relations going all around the world and the economic impacts of that, rather know the armband story. So I would just like to say that everything is all interconnected, and it falls into dire straits when truths are not provided to us, and the journalism and the news channeling system is all sinking in this manner.
Thank you, Bhumika. Very, very good points there. News has become entertaining business. Indeed, it has. Drama works across genre. Viewers love drama. News dramatizes news. In fact, it is a platform for character assassination. Content is created without taking into consideration the kind of repercussion it would have. There is a lack of a regulatory body. I would now request Abhishek to begin with the refute and rebuttal rounds. Take it away.
Thank you, Speaker Sir. First off, I would like to start off by saying who are these people we are talking about today? When you mentioned that these people who loved this drama, who are these people? These are the very people who run businesses. These are the very people who are part of the government, because the government is of the people, by the people, for the people. And all of these people are the ones who are running this business already. And news channels on that front are never going to go out of business because of this very reason. Now, when the whole motto of this whole dramatization and then being taken over by businesses is to play with the psyche of the people, and that's how the business channels cater to the people, and that is why they only show what these their customers want them to show to the consumers. Now, why is that so? Now, when you talk about something like the soldiers being killed on the borders and what's it to do with the cricketers, but you yourself said that people watch entertainment and sports and so on and so forth, those channels much more than news. Now, when this comes on, when the news reporters asking this and this put on news, people will be more interested, because today what Mohinder Singh Dhoni says or where what Sachin Tendulkar says is of much more importance, because that's what it has. That's what the public is today. So when you take someone as God, and when you take cricketers, cricket is a noble sport in India, and it's tremendously famous. Now, when you combine those, that's how the propagandists, or that's how the propagandas work. Now, the moment you put this into their minds, so the general public will have now a notion of nationalistic feeling, so on and so forth. That's just a tap into why these things occur, because the moment you have this thing, then it is a huge resentment that comes in your part, that okay, our soldiers, like we are related to them, this emotion comes into play, that our Indian soldiers were like were killed on the border. When this normal news would have been given, it would not have so much weightage. But the moment you put in cricketers along with it, and then you say that, so then people start starting up. No, we should start having feelings. And if some people start wearing, now this is a whole chain. Now, when you show that cricketers are not, then you come and see that who are, and then that side of the thing is advertised. That is the whole news that is being portrayed. And none of like, so and not everything is like a daily soap, right? These are particularly news provided by very secured sources, like the company themselves are putting this news out of their own, like from their own. So for example, a law firm today in anywhere in the world, it needs to announce, like even if it's in the state of bankruptcy, it is going to announce that yes, we are safe and sound, we have our employees tacked in. That extra kind of knowledge does not need to go out. So that thing has its own boundaries to be kept in. And when it's saying that it's not in bankruptcy, and it does come out, or it does come out to be one of the successful firms, then it's all due to these news that it's, or these uh, these, what you call as fake news. These are the tools of manipulation today. These are the tools of these companies surviving today, because they would be taken over by an hostile takeover. That's all they're trying to prevent them from happening. Now, when we come back to our the points that you mentioned, so regulatory body, what kind of a regulatory body are you trying to put in here? The government, the business bodies, all of these people who rule the world today are the ones sponsoring these news channels and the news that is being portrayed. Who is going to go above them? Who is going to be the person who is going to go above them? That's all that I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abhishek. Very, very interesting points there from you as well. Customers show what the consumers want to see. Propagandas work with a pinch of national sentiment. Advertisement and news can help a bankrupt company turn around and look successful. That is, I believe, the magic of advertising and news, or the so-called news channels. I would now request Bhumika to go ahead with her round of rebuttals and refutes. Take it away, please.
So as I said earlier that yes, news is curated and modified to just make it interesting, which is not what the people want. Now you cannot say that the news channel is a platform of emotional to play with the emotional sentiments of the people, and not to say what the truth is, and to just advertise in whatever manner just for the sake of TRPs and for a mad rush of it. So news channels are flashing useless topics like this, and they are there's a glamorization of crime. They are invading into the personal lives of celebrities. They are showing horoscope solutions or any future predictions, which is not what we want, and which compels me to ask that where is the news? It's like nowadays the social media is discussing the news, and the news channels are only discussing the viral videos. It has become a circus where and where the audience is becoming the prey for their naivety. And as the Press Council of India, who is Mr. Markande Kaju, in his controversial interview of his, said that Roman emperors often used to say, if you cannot give people bread, give them circuses, and which makes me think of the present day scenario of news channels. Since I am speaking about the half truths, I may not know on what context the chief had said this, or why is it so that he made this comment. I mean, there are only pecks of information provided on which we have to live and make our viewpoints. News is meant to be presented the way it is rather than mold and sensationalize it, which is ideally wrong. The news channels nowadays hardly care about disseminating information and educating the society. They are just concerned about entertainment, that too futile. With the entire plethora in vogue on every single news channel in the country, the quality and credibility of the news is deteriorating. Just for exaggerating the problem, the news channels in India have blurred the line between news and entertainment. And if I bring the topic of news channels and government, it would be all entwined in a vicious circle of mutual manipulation or a self-interest and myth-making. Journalists need crisis, and the government needs to be responding to the crisis. So it is too often that the crises are not really crisis, but a joint fabrication of the two institutions. And here is what the politics comes into play, which is enclosed into a symbiotic web of lies. And this is not the people want. This is not what we want. We don't want political agendas to come up and corrupt our nation like this, wherein the democracy comes at stake. So I cannot say that news channels show people what they want. It is all the hidden truths and myth making which negates the statement and compels me to say that no, that news channels are not showing what people want. And the topic, I have to negate to the topic.
Fantastic, fantastic. News should have an educational value. News is now circus. If you cannot give people bread, give them circuses, says Bhumika. Great points there from her. Now, for our closing comments, I will request Abhishek to go ahead with his closing comments. Thank you.
So where I feel the problem lies. So what I feel is that firstly the statement news channels show people what they want to see. It stands because it does show what people want to see. It's pertaining to the customers that it's going to. Now that's where the problem lies today. If you want a solution to all of this, then it's more of where you correct that consumer and customer disparity. When the customer becomes your consumer, that's when you get the quality content, and that's when it won't be contaminated. Today when the news channels today are pertaining to the customers, this is the best at its functioning, because the consumers get what the customers want them to see. The customers are gaining in their business, and their propagandas, they are going well. So there I don't see any change that is happening. But uh, for India to progress, or a nation to progress, or our nation, or for the whole media sector to progress, what is needed, the need of the hour would be that this this disparity to be gone, because otherwise they are running well and fine. We like in our like uh, uh, the madam on our opposition has told us that yes, it is being successful, yes, it is telling us to have opinions. So then that caters to the news channels propaganda, and that's why it stands. That's all.
Great closing statements there from you. Great closing comments there from you, Abhishek. News channels does show what the customers want to see. When consumers and customers are same, we could get the best content. Disparity needs to be gone. Right. So Bhumika, please go ahead with your closing comments.
Okay, so in my closing statement, I would like to put forward my opinion for a change in broadcasting system, because news is not showing what people want. And as V. Gangadhan, a socialist, said, that the training of newcomers in the field of journalism is the need of the hour. And having such authority of broadcasting real news, the news channels must become responsible and modify content only if needed, and only to a certain limit, or and to maintain certain kind of standards wherein the originality of the story is not marred. Regarding advertisements, a news channel is not a platform for that, as news has the full form north, east, west, and south, and which provides us real information from all across the world rather than see its own benefit and profits. So it is an independent body for the people and should act accordingly. And if we consider information as the hamster and the news as the wheel, I have to say that the wheel is present and moving, but the hamster has died. And the question arises, who is moving this wheel? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bhumika. Very good points there from you. Modify content only when required. News channel is not a platform for advertising. So you both had some very, very good points, and I really cannot call any one of you clear winners. But you actually raised some very good points for and against the motion. Thank you very much, the two of you. With that, we come to the close of Rebuttal. Thank you, Bhumika and Abhishek, for joining us. It was a pleasure to hear you on Rebuttal. Our listeners can participate in the debate on our website or via the Extra Insights app. We would love to hear your rebuttals. We shall see you next week with another real debate. Thank you very much.